I am overjoyed to report that not only did I correctly hit the record button, which I try and do every time, but fail at it much more than you would expect. So not only did that go right, but I had audio, because I was really kind of frightened there for a while. I've got an earpiece for my Bluetooth audio, but I didn't test it until just now. And it worked! Bright sun colors. Oh. I still want to do... One of these days, those teeth are going to go right into the manure. I still want to dialogue instead of monologue. I want to interact. And social media, surprisingly, has a lot less interaction than you'd think. When I first lost most of my income and jobs, contracts, I found social media, Facebook at the time, a fantastic way to feel connected to my friends, make them laugh. It was an essential part of my day. Today, I'm on more social medias. I'm not interacting with anybody. I don't think most of them are either. Occasionally there's a comment, but usually those comments are not good comments. I don't mean they're rude. They're like good. That's the comment. Or cool. And you have to think, okay, are those real people with minimal vocabulary, or are they the robots that just want to fill out the comment section? Doesn't matter to me. The point is, we're not becoming friends. We're not chatting. We're not interacting. We're not stimulating our senses at all. And sometimes you see a post and you think, that's a fantastic post. I want to reply to that post. I want to tell that person, you know, I loved it. They changed my day. I'm going to share it with my friends. Let me see. Oh, that'll be comment number 7,823. What's the point? They're not going to read it. They're probably not going to hire someone to read it. The only people that will read it are the next 5 people that comment, because it'll be right there. And then it'll be too far down the list, forgotten forever. So I kind of stopped commenting. And the thing is, with someone like me who's just growing their popularity, we live for that notification bell. You wake up in the morning and you 2 notifications. That's twice as many as yesterday. People who are successful may not realize that, but I want to interact. But what happens is, as soon as you get popular, you get 5,000 comments, you don't read any of them. I have discovered that social media right now, I'm going to make these numbers up, 90% of people making content and posting. That's all. The other percentage are negligible. People who read comments. I mean, people who read posts. Okay, yes. Some people read, you know, every morning I'll check Facebook. I don't go down as far as I used to because it's a lot of repetition. I think it was a bad idea to have shorts on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and have cross-posting be allowed, because the people I like, that's all I see now. It's the same post everywhere I go. It's losing its usefulness and its entertainment value, because the people who post, and they're always saying, oh, it's a full-time job. And I understand it is. I've tried doing it, and it's a full-time job. So the people who post and the people whose personalities you like and you think, oh, I really like this person, I would enjoy interacting with them. Except that they don't know who you are. You're one of 2.5 million out of 500 million if you count the fakes. They don't really go on the internet. You know, it surprised me how few celebrities and television personalities and movie stars watch TV. Howard Stern was one of the first in my life that talked about TV that he watched. Now, a lot of Howard Stern is generated by his staff of writers, and it's a genius structure because morning shows are very popular and people get used to that community. They drive into work, Robin, Fred, Howard, and extra person, that's their family. The internet had that for a while, but you can't call in and win a contest. Something's happening in this area right now. In Canada, the major, or one of the 3 major companies that owns all of media, decided they're getting out of the radio business. Selling off most of, if not all, their radio. Nobody's buying those stations because nobody wants to own a radio station anymore, except the people who already own 100 radio stations. They'll take those extra 20. They don't have to hire new staff. They don't have to rent new space. I live here just outside of Kamloops, and the radio that I listen to says it's in Kamloops. The morning show guy lives here. He meets people, he talks, he answers the phone. The midday, the afternoon, the night shift, and the overnight, all prefab content. Now, some of it sounds real. Tarzan Dan is the afternoon man. I thought, that's neat. You know, he's getting old. He not as popular with the teenagers, but on an oldies station, a 70s, 80s. He moved out here. My friend says, oh no. Tarzan Dan works out of a single office downtown Toronto and records the afternoon show for 6 or more radio stations every day, sent out. He knows what the songs are. He's got a book that comes, the Morning DJ's Chat Up book, which is updated daily. So he knows today is National Marmalade Day. And it's Penny Marshall's, oh, she's dead, birthday, I was going to say. I don't know why I picked that name, but the point is, it's not live, even though it's a real person. It's cheap. Nobody's benefiting except the station owner. And social media is kind of taken over the radio. I really like radio, especially in the car, but even at home. I like commercials. I like knowing the DJs. I really missed when I moved out of Toronto and there were the talents significantly different here. Social media is not very social. Forums and comment sections, they're rude as hell. People are afraid of getting famous because of the abuse they'll have to take. People who aren't getting famous take that abuse. Who benefits from the comment fields in the fishing forums? Okay, maybe the fishing's specific enough. 2 fishermen could talk and get an idea. And now with this AI, that makes things even worse. Because the greedy people are using AI to generate content which means when you go to Google and you type in how to scale a fish, you come up with 5,000 websites, and they've all taken their content from the same place. They're just copy and pasting. They put their ads on it. Now they don't even copy and paste. They have AI create an entire website, and then they make 200 more of those. AI is amazing, but every new technology, the evil will find a way to ruin it for everyone. One of my favorite Saturday Night Live sketches. A talk show format. They're interviewing 5 people who ruined it for everyone. The guy who was the first one to drive away from a gas station without paying. Now everyone has to prepay. It was others like it. But just like those people working in the warehouses that are fine with you losing $500,000 if they make it. There's people out there that really don't care if they hurt you. Very few people believe that I can be who I seem to be. Because of the way I grew up, I really tried my best to be perfect. Because if I wasn't, I got yelled at. And in a household that didn't know what ADHD was back then, it was all my fault. And we moved out to the country, so I didn't really have access to my friends. So I grew up in my own head, thinking that everything I did was perfect because I didn't share it with anyone, so there was no judgment. Then you get into the real world and you realize, oh, people are actually quite satisfied with not perfect. You can be late. They won't yell at you. Yeah, you can make mistakes. They won't yell at you. I was close to being 50 before I realized how willing to accept satisfactory the world is. In the job world and social world, everywhere. It really shocked me, and then it kind of ruined me, because once I found out I didn't have to be perfect, I kind of overcompensated and lost a good reputation. But for the most part, I bounced back, and I like being good, being polite, being on time, doing what's right. Except for speeding and drugs, I don't really break any laws. I haven't shoplifted. I haven't smoked a single cigarette. I had very little alcohol for a year and a half, and then I quit. I'm polite, I'm respectful. I treat women with equal respect. I try my best not to make fun of idiots in front of their face or behind their back. That's a hard one, because it's really easy. But people have a hard time believing that, because there's not a lot of people out there that care. And it's so weird to me. It doesn't help, or it does help, one or the other, that I'm asexual. So when I meet a woman, especially an attractive woman, I'm not thinking of how to get into her pants. I'm not motivated by her. I don't know what I was going to say. I'm not sexually driven. I don't get hard-ons. I don't have desire. So it's immediately sensed by people, I think, by women. And I have a lot of women friends. And from this perspective, holy cow, men are just horrible. And other men accept it as the way. This is the way. Okay. Gotta be careful here. The mud is worse than ice in this part. Oh, it's a little solid still. Okay. The chickens do not like the new feed as much as the old feed, or that'd be empty by now. But I did get a lot of eggs yesterday, so that's contradictory information. Oh, they're hungry. I think this is going to be old food. You got 5 more days of this food. Actually, there might be new food in the car. We might have picked it up. I don't remember. Very delicate. Here comes the rooster. Well, this was fun. The more I do long form like this and I just talk, I know that the clip editors may or may not be able to handle it very well, but at some point, the guilt of creating content that is just me rambling and might not be as interesting as I think it is, at some point that guilt will hit me and I'll stop making them with that as my excuse. That's usually how things go. Anything that I enjoy doing, I find a way to sabotage by thinking I'm bothering someone. Come through. Well, you got a lot of food too. Everybody's got leftover food today. Yeah, you go. Well, look at those nice eggs under your hen chick. What's going on? Probably the duck. Come in, no. I can't tell if that's distress or not. There's one big duck in there, but they're often hanging out together. But that's the I'm laying an egg noise, but none of them are laying eggs. So I don't know, they're just, I'm gonna say it's happy hen chatter. Okay, that's it. I'm putting the camera away, at least for 30 seconds until another idea